Mike, let's start here. Your words. I'm getting worried about energy and materials. Talk to me about energy.
Yeah, well, I've been big on the value trade, and obviously the key proponents there are financials, banks, energy. And of course, we've had a great run in energy. The energy policy in this country of not investing in the space has worked to the advantage of the stocks or investors. And of course, oil prices have shot up with the war in Ukraine. But now we're starting to see this economy slow, and we're getting clear signs of slowing. And again, the downside volatility that could become, tied to energy names if we see a real slowdown or a recession is going to be troublesome.
Michael, can you buy quality here? If you have a 1 year, 3 year perspective with the way some of these stocks have been hammered, they've got some revenue stability, they've got persistent free cash flows, you know the names. Can you begin to acquire those shares, or do you really have to be as gloomy as Lisa?
Tom, you heard me say, I think we're in this 2000 to 2002 episode of everything's repricing. I think Micron's a good example of where we are in this market. Micron's trading 5 or 6 times earnings. Obviously, a pretty awful guidance provided last night, but the shares are probably down, I'd say $1.50, $2. So they're digesting pretty bad guidance pretty well. So I would be looking for that, the value buffer in there where valuations have corrected significantly. And those are the type of names I'd be looking for. I still think a lot of the quality names still have lofty PEs in this market. I think that's one of the bigger problems out there.
Mike, there is a distinction between long-term faith that the U.S. economy can recover, which I think a lot of people share, and that there will be an entry point at some point, and this belief that there will be near-term pain. When is that pivot point? What are you looking for?
So that's a great question, because I think you guys touched on the issues as you were talking on the intro. I mean, the next 6 weeks, in my opinion, it's going to be the news headline battle is going to be between earnings and inflation. And I think we're going to see the inflation data it's going to pivot in the right direction here. I think the rest of the year, we're going to see decelerating inflation growth, although it's still going to be high, but it's going to be heading in the right direction. But then the earnings data is where the problem is going to be. Like you guys mentioned RH earlier, you mentioned MU from last night. Those are just a couple of companies on off quarters that we're seeing. Earnings season kicks off in 2 weeks. And I think that's going to see a rough summer because we haven't seen analysts really reset their forecast yet. Everyone's been hoping for the back half of the year. That's not going to materialize, and now we have to see